Good morning, or afternoon, or evening even, depending on where you are. How are you all doing today? My name is Mark Mandel. Hopefully some of you know me, maybe some of you don't. I am a developer advocate for Google Cloud Platform, doing stuff with games. And I like to work on open source software. So today I am working on the project which I usually work on, as you can see below, which is a project by the name of Agones. Which is a open source project for running dedicated game servers on top of another open source project called Kubernetes, which is an open source project for running basically arbitrary processes across potentially thousands of machines in a big cluster. So lots of fun. So today I'm not standing, today I'm sitting down, so you're getting a slightly different view of my workspace, which is fun. I'm just gonna turn this a little. That would be my dog in the background wondering what is going on. I also have my cup of tea, which is the most important thing to have on a stream. Excellent. All right, so what are we working on today? So today we're working on something fun. So we worked on it a bit last time, so we're gonna have to do some fun shenanigans to get that all ready. But within Kubernetes itself, we have things set up so that we can define what we call game servers now. When you install Agones, that's the thing you get. So let's have a look. So like a game server. Actually, that's a really bad example. Let's have a look at this one. This is better. So here we have a game server, and it specifies all the details about the game server, such as what ports it has available to it. It uses a Docker image to be able to specify what we should run, all that kind of stuff. This has stuff on it that could potentially change. There's a whole metadata section here, for example, that enables you to do labels and annotations, which are basically key value pairs. Each has slightly different usages. I can go into that deeper if people are interested at all. And what we want to have happen is within the SDK, we want to have it so that, oh, I keep doing that. Thank you very much. There we go. Now you can see my screen. So this is a game server. Thank you. Oh my God. Vishens, thank you so much for saying that. I have the worst habit of doing that. All right. So back to the topic at hand. Yeah. So we have a game server here, and here we have this section called metadata. So these are arbitrary key value pairs. Other than like names, we can actually have labels. We can have these things called annotations. And so that we can change this stuff. And we can actually change a lot of things inside here as well in what's going on. And we actually, when we create this thing, there's a status that gets created as well behind the scenes, right? And that specifies whether it's ready or not ready, that kind of stuff. So what we want to be able to do is within the game server itself, we have an SDK. And that SDK allows us to do all sorts of stuff like say, hey, I'm healthy or I'm not, or I'm ready or I'm not, that kind of stuff. And what we would like to have inside the SDK is basically a callback system that picks up when this game server data changes, and then lets it know. So this is actually going to be really useful. For example, the thing we've been talking about a lot internally is being able to change the metadata, say on a game server, to say like, hey, when I'm possibly allocating you out of a fleet, or basically grabbing you, I'm like, I want to be able to load, like, save a specific map. Say I want to load a specific map. What I can do is I could say game server, either to the Kubernetes API. We've got some other mechanisms we're playing with as well. Change this label, change like this map label, it's map annotation. It actually doesn't matter which. And then this callback system would then be able to say, oh, cool, externally, somebody has changed this annotation, say, for example, and said load map, right, / right, and then given it a value of, deathmatch or something. And then it would catch that change and be like, oh, okay, cool, I know I've seen that change. I keep an eye out for that change for that particular annotation, say, and then I know I need to take that particular action. So I started this 2 weeks ago, and I don't remember what I did previously, so this should be kind of fun. And we also had a release since then too, so we'll see. Okay, we'll have to explore and see what I did previously and how I did it, and let's see if it all still works. I have thoughts, but okay. So first step, actually, let's bring up a terminal. I'm going to flip that around. Let's just get branch. If I want to have a look at what branches I got, I have a bunch of branches. My dog's going to bark at something. You watch. It's about to happen. From memory, okay, so what I want is the GS callback feature branch that I had here, which is fine. I'm not going to clean this up now, but let's just check out. The one thing that I will want, though, is to... let's have a look. Let's have a look at our log here. There's a few stuff. I'm going to need to actually do some Git stuff right now. So let's get that done. So I'm going to need to read base against master. So let's do that and let's see if it works. Or if it just is going to be like horribly. Nope, it's fine. Okay. Oh, awesome. Cool. So I'm actually going to push that up so that I have that as a thing. And then let's work out what it is that we were working on previously. All right. That's good. That's good. That makes me very happy. That was really easy. Okay. And the other thing I'm going to need to do is have a cluster. Let's have a look at, yeah, I know there's a new version of Minikube, but my one works, so that's fine. I have some make commands that make this a bit easier. So I'm just going to create a Minikube test cluster that runs all the commands in the way that I need to run a Kubernetes cluster. So that can fire up in the background. All right, so we'll do that. All right, cool. Alrighty. While that's going on, let me just see what it is that I changed, because I don't remember. Okay. Oh, that's right. I do remember now. Okay. So what did I actually do? All right. So we changed the proto from memory. So the proto is the interface that gets defined for our gRPC aspect. And that controls what happens. So we created a watch game server service, perfect, that takes in an empty, so it doesn't actually take anything in, and returns a stream of game servers, which is all the game server data, which we have here, of all sorts of, basically this is a copy of the game server as you saw it, most of it. I think there's a few bits missing, but that's okay. And that gives me, and so we're saying, okay, so watch game server, I would call this from the SDK, and the SDK would then give me a stream back as changes happen. So that seems pretty reasonable. And we were working on the Go side, so that's okay as well. So here Go, actually if we have a look inside package SDK, all right, so this is the generated gRPC stuff. That all looks like generated gRPC. That seems reasonable. There's nothing too strange there. So that's fine. Cool. All right. So which means then when we actually look at our Go SDK, and we'll need to do this for other SDKs too, but we'll come to that. Here we go. And we need to write tests for this. Okay. Watch game server. Cool. Oh, interesting. Okay, cool. So what do? So we have these, when we say we want to watch something, great. If we do want to watch something, we do a singular once, and we actually hit that SDK and set up that stream, and then watch those callbacks coming back. That all sounds pretty reasonable. Cool. Let's have a look. Let's have a look at my to-do windows. This is usually what I do. I usually leave myself some stuff lying around to say what I need to work on next. Okay, we don't care about that. Implement me. Okay, so this is on the server side. Cool. Hey, Toaster. Toaster Fuel. And hey, Rocknut Studios. Thanks for joining. Thanks for rating. Oh, that's awesome. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. Hopefully your audience will appreciate this. All right, so I'm gonna actually, let's have a look. So, I'm gonna build the, what was it? Build the SDK. Let's think about this. Not build the SDKs, build the SDK binary. Let's do that. Okay, let's let that run in the background. So what I did previously was I actually ran this SDK binary that we're generating here right now. So we're fine, we're gonna do that, that's cool. Yeah, writing Go, I like Go, it gets stuff done. So what I've done is I'm gonna write the binary for this SDK sidecar that I run. So that, and I have a local version of that, and I think that I got done last time. So let's just double check that real quick. SDK, no, that's not what I want. Where is it? It's in package, actually, I lied. Game servers, here we go, SDK local, perfect. Okay, so watch game server says that if you connect to it locally, then I'm just gonna send this fixture. I'm gonna send this dummy game server that I have up here that has really weird formatting. Actually, let's put a space between those two. There we go. I'm going to create my usual development shell, which is just a Docker container running a bunch of stuff. Make sure that's all. Oh, /w. Let me format that properly. There we go. That's looking better. Okay, that's looking neater as well. Okay, so that seems pretty cool. That seems like it works. Hey, Space Barris Defect. Nice to see you. Thank you all for joining. Wow, there's lots of people in here. The pressure is on. I have to be vaguely entertaining. Okay, cool. So there is a, for this project for Agones, for the local development, there is a local SDK. From last time, I believe this is working, so I'm not going to worry about it too much. From memory. Now, let's have a look. I do have a sample as well. So the other thing I wanted to look at is in our examples, simple UDP, server, main.go. Here we go. Let's have a look in here. We have GameServer. All right. So inside of here, we don't have anything that tests this. So actually, you know what? We'll come back to this. Let's implement like a first pass of it here in this watch game server as it comes through. This should be interesting. This should be very interesting. Okay, so locally, how do I do this? Okay, so I need to remember how I do gRPC because I've forgotten. There's my dog. Do you have an SDK for other languages? Yeah, so that's a good question. Do you interface with Agones with Go, or do you have different SDK for other languages? Yeah, so the whole that is actually a really good question. So yeah, so the SDK is based on gRPC, which means that we can support anything that has gRPC support in it. Right now we have where are we in our SDK? So we have C++, which is a little bit painful in Windows, and we're trying to fix that. I'll talk about that in a minute. We have Go. Someone submitted Rust, which is a little behind on some of the stuff it can do, but we could expand that. It's basically anything gRPC has really good support for. You can just put the SDK is kind of a thinnish wrapper that sits over the top. The other thing is we also expose the entire SDK as well as REST. So we use gRPC Gateway, and so the SDK is available as REST, and there's a Swagger spec as well down here as well. So if you don't like gRPC, or there's issues with gRPC, like there's issues with C++ and gRPC on Windows versus Linux is a real pain, so we want to rewrite that using the REST SDK, and that work's coming. So you can either do it both ways. So if we haven't got a supported platform for you yet, you can either access it via either gRPC or via REST. Like we've got someone who's been working a little bit with Unreal, and they've just been doing it through REST. I'm waiting for someone from the community to write like an Unreal SDK that we can just drop straight in, but that should happen soon. Hopefully that answers your question. So usually I start with Go as the start for me to like experiment with how things work. And then I sort of take it from there, just because I'm most familiar with Go, and then I bash my way through trying to get C++ to work because I have terrible C++ skills. And that's why we bring on other people to do that. Yep. All right, cool. All right, thinky. All right, so let's have a look-see. So here we go. Now, SDK server, watch game server. Okay. Let me think about this. All right, so bear with me 1 sec. So if I go up to the top, which is usually up here, I want to see if we have an event handler. So Kubernetes by default has watch commands, or basically event watching commands that specify when what to do when certain events happen. And so I want to see if that's hooked up first, I guess is probably the best way to do this. Let's see. Okay. How to function? Let's see. Blah, blah, blah. Doesn't look like we're doing any of that here, which is not entirely surprising. But I do have a filtered share informer. I have a shared informer factory, which is the thing that lets me do my event handling stuff. So that all works. So that's set up there. Let's think about this now. On Watch Game Server, I am going to. So this is what I'm actually thinking is what I really need is here we go. So if I actually pop back over here, yeah, I need to do something like that. So I don't care about the empty, but I do care about the stream. And what I probably need really is just like an array or some kind of collection of these streams. Realistically, there should only be the game server sidecar that's ever connected, but maybe it disconnects or something weird happens. So we want to pick up all the streams. And all right, let's think about that. Okay, so in theory, when you watch this game server, we want to do something like, we'll probably need some locking, but let's not worry about that for now. We'll come back to it. So let's call this, let's actually go back. I want, yeah. SDK, what's game server? So streams or connected streams? That sounds good. Connected streams. SDK watch game servers will be an array of these. Do we want an array? Array seems fine. The only thing, do we care about cleanup after we're done? So like assuming like something disconnects or there's an error sending data to some particular connection. I totally just spilled on myself. That's hilarious. Let's not worry about that for now. One problem at a time. One problem at a time. So let's just say, okay, cool. So L dot connected streams equals append L dot connected streams stream. To do work out what to do on this connection. Maybe we don't care. Maybe we don't. Maybe we don't care. Maybe we don't care. In theory, there should only ever be one connection, and then the game server should die. So maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe. Return no. So we're just going to put it in the pool. And we are good. Yeah, watch game server. Let's have a look. I just want to have a quick look. So we have a send. It gives back an error. Is there anything else in here? Inside stream, for example. No. Send message, receive message. Yes, a stream, but we're only ever going to send message. On error reports the stream, blah, 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 blah. Simply returns the error to the caller. Some message caller generated code. It's safe to go return some message. I'm just wondering if it returns like an EOF or anything when it's done. But it doesn't look like it. Okay, so I'm just going to assume that it's fine. And then I'm just going to swallow errors maybe. We'll work that out in a minute. Okay. All right. So let's start with something simple. No. How do I do, let me think about this for a sec. Okay, so there's event broadcasters. So let's do our event handling here for lack of a better idea. I'm going to have a look actually in the controller because we do this a lot in controllers. So that I can remember how it is that I need to do this. No, add handler. Here we go. Here, add event handler. Perfect. So we need the game server informer. We're going to add an event handler and then we do that. Okay. So, do we have the game server informer? Here we go. Game server informer. Perfect. We need that. Alrighty. Game server informer dot add event handler cache dot resource event. No. Resource event handler funcs. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So this gives us basically a hook to create callbacks so that when things happen to our game servers, then we can actually fire off events. We can fire off functions. The cache resource, so the add event handler takes this like resource event handler thing, which is in an interface. To make life easy, there's this thing called a cache resource event handler func that basically is a struct that implements the interface, and you can just pass in these function values, which makes life easy. It's just a really nice way to set this stuff up, which is really cool. Okay, so we actually have these three things. We have add, we have update, and we have delete. Now, let's think about this for a sec. Add seems redundant because by the time this thing starts up, we've already added. So that seems silly. We shouldn't add that. Update seems like the important one. And in fact, boom, 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 boom. Let me think about this for a sec. Do I care about the old object? Given the way I've set this up now with like the SDK server, for example, or the SDK, we fire a callback, which gets back the current version. I think that's fine. I think that's fine. I don't think we need the old version. And if you did, then you could just track it yourself. The reason I'm thinking this is because I kind of want delete func to happen as well. Because, man, is delete func even a thing? All right, let's run with this. Let's run with this. Maybe we change it later. We're still pre-alpha. We can always make breaking changes. I'd prefer not to, but it is a thing we can do. Let's start with just update func. I feel like delete func is only going to happen once the game server has actually been deleted, which doesn't happen until this process has actually been stopped. So it seems kind of ridiculous to put that in there. So that seems reasonable. This sounds reasonable. Okay, so we're going to use update func. So let's do that. So where are we? Update func. Func object. I don't care about that at all. New object is fine. We'll need to convert this into a game server. So it'll be new object dot pointer game server, and not the SDK game server, but it's like the internal resource of the game server. Yes, that's hilarious. And then we're gonna need some kind of handler for this. What do we want to call it? Let's see. S dot send. Man, that works. Send watch game server. Game server. Something along those lines. If that errors in any way, shape, or form, I can't think of it. But let's worry about that later. Okay. S. Cool. Although I usually use GS for that. Okay. All right. So that actually gave us a function. I like how these generate these things for us. I'm gonna put it near. Where's our watch? We have a watch. Where are we? Here. Watch game server. Beautiful. Okay, cool. Put it there. All right. So send a watch game server event. That's actually a really bad go. Excuse me for a sec. Send. There we go. Sends a watch game server event, which means I actually think I prefer a name that's maybe more like. Well, I want event at the end because that makes me feel better, and do that. Cool. What are you saying? Okay, let's have a look. Let's put that out. Blam. Yep. Do that refactor. That's beautiful. Okay. I really like IntelliJ's refactoring support. All right. So basically at this point, we just loop through and send this down the stream. Oh, we need to convert it first. We do need to convert it first. Okay, so for underscore stream in s dot connected streams. Oh, it should be range. Sorry, my fault. There we go. For every stream, we want to stream dot send an SDK game server from memory. Let's just no. I need a SDK game server, so s.convert my game server into that game server. Sweet. And that's going to return potentially an error. Now, what do we want to do with this error if it happens? This is a fun question. I think I'm just going to log it. I don't think there's anything that I can really do at this point. Given that it's an event that if it fails for whatever reason, it's bad, but I can't, like, it's not worth closing or shutting down the process or anything like that. So I think I think this works. I think this works. All right, sweet. So s.logger, I have a logger dot error. Oh, actually, I should say with error error. Or I should actually say errors dot wrap. Error error. Oops, error. Error sending. Now we could end up with like some red flags in this if like some disconnections happen and reconnections happen, but I think that's okay. I think that's okay. I'm not going to worry about that too much. I think that's okay. Error sending game server events. Error. No message. I don't want the cause. Yeah, wrap is fine. Here's a new game server. Actually, it's actually an update event. I'm wrapping it so that I get a stack trace, for lack of a better point. But I kind of just want to. Do I want an actual wrap? I mean, I could just. That works. That's actually more of what I want. I really just want the stack, and then I've got the error there. That works. Because with stack annotates the error of the stack trace. Perfect. Cool. This seems legit. Okay. Let's see if my tests pass. Oh, something in here is broken. Something in here is broken. Why are you broken? Oh, it needs comma. Lovely. Alrighty. Let's just make sure nothing's broken. Oh, I need to write tests for this actually before let's do write tests for this. To do write tests for this. Watch game server. Receives. Let's think about this for a sec. Oh, I can't spell. Thank you. Events through the stream, or actually sends events, I should say. That's totally wrong. Sends events through the stream when changes occur to the backend game server. The configuration or status. Okay, that sounds like fun. Awesome. Cool. So that's our watch game server implementation. I'm not going to worry about that right now. I do have a whole bit of to-dos to write tests, but we can get to that in a minute. It's more fun on the stream to just see if stuff breaks, I think. I feel like that's way more entertaining for people. Cool. So, what do I need to do at this point? I don't know if I need to do anything. I was going to run these tests just to see if anything breaks, for any compilation errors or anything like that. That'll get picked up. Spinning. All test pass. All right, cool. So I have some more tests to write. We should do that, but that's not nearly as fun. Cool. So if I then go back to my SDK so that I remember how this works. If I then run watch game server, it sets that up and it has a function callback. Okay. So this seems legit. This seems pretty reasonable, I think. So I'm going to, where are we? I'm going to commit this. First pass at server-side game server events. I'm going to make build images. Yeah, do that. I'll have that run in the background. So I'm going to build all our images. I'm going to push it up to Minikube, and we'll try installing it and see what happens. That's a good test. While that's going on in the background, what I also want to do is futz with my example. I have this simple UDP example here as a server, main.go here, that does a bunch of stuff. And usually it responds to different events. So, and it's actually been a really nice little tool for just kind of smoke testing this stuff works. So let's see what happens. Thinking. So what I want to do is I've got a thing in here that when I send it, say, so we've already got functionality in the SDK that says, hey, give me, for example, where we write server name, where I can actually say to the SDK, give me the game server, like give me just the backing stuff. So you could actually just poll for this information, which isn't like ideal, but you could do it. Like you could. It's not like the best thing in the world, but it's not the worst. There's actually a backing cache. You'd just be sending some gRPC data backwards and forwards a lot. Meh. Not so terrible, but not so wonderful. But what we really want is to have a watch. So what I'm actually thinking is let's extend this. We're going to call it watch. So basically these are commands that come in. And what is that? I don't know what that is. What is that? Where did that come from? Unresolved reference. What have I done here? I did something weird. What did I do? What have I done? What have I done? What have I done? Oh, that's the end of the switch. Okay, I'm just staring at the wrong thing because I'm silly. So case, we'll call it watch. I think that seems reasonable. And then what's going on? So FrozDY, thank you for joining. So we're not actually working on a game. We're working on a platform for hosting multiplayer games. So we're a little meta today. So it's an open source project for hosting multiplayer games on, and I'm working on the SDK for it so that backing game servers can basically track what happens to them while they're running inside a game, inside a cluster. So what I'm looking at doing now is what I'm writing is basically some smoke test. I'm writing a little example that interacts here. So, all right, so I'm gonna write a thing called watch game server events. Probably doesn't need to do anything other than that. So we'll fire that off. Let's make this implement it. Let's create that function. And I'm just going to move it to sort of here. Watch game server events. Creates callback to track when game server events to log. There we go. When game server events. Okay. Seems reasonable. Cool. So let's see if that works. The Y is silent. I'm doing Garena the All-Seeing Eye. I actually don't know what you mean. No, so if you ever look below, there's a project that I work on called Agones. It's an open source project for running game servers. So I'm building the platform that something like Overwatch or Fortnite might be working on, basically. So I'm building infrastructure. If that answers your question a little better. Ooh, you know what I will need, though? I will need this SDK. Let's pass that in. SDK, that's important. Let's pass that through. Cool, that's better. Okay, so let's set this up. So I'm just going to do an s.watchGameServer. Let's implement the callback. Format.printf, for lack of a better term. That works. Do I want to marshal the game server to JSON? It doesn't hurt, does it? So you know what? I don't know if I want to. You know what? I'm just gonna copy paste for now. I'll worry about it later. JSON marshal game server JSON. Yep, that's fine. Printf. Here we go. Let's spit this out. Here we go. bum. GameServer event. Let's call it that. All right. So what I've done is I've set up whenever I've told it when I call this function, I'm going to call watch GameServer. It's going to take another function that should get called whenever GameServer event happens, and it's going to spit into the logs GameServer event and spit out what it is that we're seeing. So in theory, this should work. What I will need to do at this point then is actually increment this version on this example. We want this to be 0.3. Something died. Something died good. What died? Upgrade failed. Deployment Astro controller is invalid. Spec metadata label is invalid. Value map string overall controller. Blah blah blah. Does not match template labels. I wonder. Ooh. Tell you what. Let's try this. Helm. What is the word I'm looking for? Remove. Oh my god, my brain just fell over. I'm just gonna try destroying it. Delete. Here we go. And purge. Agones. Let's try that. So we use Helm. Helm's a package manager for Kubernetes, if people aren't familiar with it. Thank you. Let's see. Make Helm. Make minikube install. Or I could have broken something. Yay, now it works. I have to work out why that sometimes fails. It's an interesting question. So for FrozD, yeah. So for literally, like, so what we're doing here is yeah. I think the simplest explanation is if you're running a game like Overwatch or Fortnite, or any sort of game that runs like a very fast-paced action multiplayer game, you need a certain kind of infrastructure to run a thing called dedicated game servers. So this is a platform for that. So my simple example here is kind of being a very simple dedicated game server that just takes some UDP packets to test stuff out. It's basically what it boils down to. All right. So that installed. Logs, namespace, nope, Agones, controller. That's all looking pretty good. We didn't actually change the controller, so that seems fine. Cool. Oh, you know what we need to do? We need to build this this thing here. Man, I really need to turn this server into a multi-stage build Docker image. That would be a really nice thing for someone to do if somebody was so inclined. Because yeah, it just seems silly. We should really just make this a multi-stage Docker build. Let's do that. Actually, no. My bad. Yeah, so because I have to do this stupid thing where I go into examples, like I'm in my shell. It's just it's not ideal. Make build server. So that'll build the binary for me. I could run this locally first. I actually have no idea what Garena and the All-Seeing Eye is, FrozD. I actually have absolutely no idea what you're talking about. I wish I did. Otherwise, then I could answer your question. If somebody in chat wants to like Google that for me and then respond in there, I would appreciate that. Okay, so you know what? Let's actually, yeah, let's do this locally. We actually don't need to install this. We can test this locally and then test it. So let's build the SDK binary again. Oh, I don't need to do that. That was silly. I did that already. Oh, well, too late. It's already happening. It's fine. And so what I can do is run this binary as well. And everything should be good. I don't know if I'm running. Oh, there we go. Perfect. I've actually already got that set up. CD. All right. While that's going, examples, simple UDP server. Cool. All right, let's see if that's finished yet. Nope, not yet. So what I can do is I have a local bin. All right, I can run. Basically, I've got it already set up. So I've got this sidecar that usually sits right next to the game server when it's running, which is what powers the SDK. I can run that in local mode. So let's run that in local mode. That'll give me some ideas. Oh, you know what's going to be annoying about this is that, actually, no, let me double check something. But the way I have this set up is that once somebody connects to watch game server, then it sends 3 requests. So we can actually should be able to see this happen. All right, is that finished yet? No, of course it hasn't. All right, come on. Hurry up. I want to test this. And the nice thing is yeah, we've got a local environment we can do stuff with, which is pretty sweet. All right, so it's making zip files. All right, sweet. So it's built the images that I care about. So let's have a look. So if we run the server, okay, so we can actually see health pings are happening. Radio request has been received. That's all working. We are running. Okay. I'm just gonna put that up a little. Actually, I can do this because I'm lazy. All right, cool. So then I can basically do NC to 127.001.7654. All right, so I can see test packets going backwards and forwards. This is sweet. Oh, I see. Okay, Grano was made for a multitude of games for unofficial servers, so almost like a LAN host over the internet, so you could access servers to your local network featuring games. Yes, this is similar-ish. I give it a similar-ish. I don't know enough about Grano to say whether they're doing like fleets and like that kind of stuff, or whether it's like one-offs, but this sounds similar-ish. Okay, so if I remember correctly, if I send it game server from memory, yep. Okay, so it'll retrieve the game server. From there, we can actually see getting game server details. I'm pointing at stuff on my screen. I know you don't. Getting game server details there. We get some data. Okay, so if I send it now, watch. What should happen is I should get 3 game server events come through a little bit after the other. There we go. Game server event. Beautiful. Receive packet watch. Game server event, beautiful. And then another game server event, which should come through, which it did. Okay. This looks pretty sweet. I reckon we can... Yeah, that's probably a problem. We might want to fix that. All right. Game server event, null. Yeah, there was a lot of... Where did that come through? All right, so what I want to see more than that's really weird. Why I'm getting game server event? No, why is that happening? Let's have a look. So no, so I'm looking at this is an interesting question. Okay. All right, so I fire watch save games from events. Go into watch game server. That seems fine. I keep getting back events that are null though. All right, I would have thought that. So this does actually shut down the watch once it's done. But this is game server EOF. Error watching game server. Where does it say that? Error watching. Error watching. I feel like that's in the SDK. Let's find that. Error watching. Here we go. Well, first of all, there should be a slash line there. So that's something. Oh, I see it. This is why I also need tests, but that's fine. I see it. Okay, cool. I don't know if you can see this here. So this is stupid. Okay. What did I do here? That's really stupid. That's really stupid. Okay, so what I've done is if... Well, let me think about this for a sec. What I've done here is I said, okay, so when you call watch game server, then we do a watch once do, right? So basically we're saying like one time, make a connection and set this up, right? All right, so we make this connection, gives us back a stream, and then we go into a go routine. So we want this to happen concurrently, and we go into a for loop basically until forever, where we do a stream.receive. Now, one thing we're not doing is saying if we get back an EOF, which is basically like the stream's shut down, like we should really exit. Or at least we should ignore it. Or not, or continue maybe. But if this is going to continually spit back EOFs, this is going to be a nasty loop in that receive is just going to keep running back around. So I'm just thinking through, say the sidecar crashes for some reason. We would like this to reconnect. Or at least attempt to, probably with an exponential backoff. Let's have a look. So gRPC go reconnection. Does it do it that way? Is it actually something that? Yeah, does it auto reconnect? A Go client should automatically reconnect an EOF because deconnection should cause an immediate reconnect. Okay, so that's happening. All right, so that's something that already happens at a gRPC level. All right, so then what I'm thinking then is that, okay, so error doesn't equal nil. Yeah, if there's an actual error, I'm more inclined to do something like this. If error doesn't equal, there's not a lot I can do about it except wait for a reconnect. So I continue. So I basically say, go to the next one. Maybe I sleep for a second. I don't want it to. I don't know if I want it to happen like continuously. Receive should block though it doesn't necessarily say. Let's see what the documentation says. gRPC. Chips Basics. All right, cool. What time we got? We got 10:02. All right, sweet. So we're getting somewhere. Okay. All right, cool. So stream on the server can use both read and write messages, which is the receive method and send and close method. Now, as far as I'm aware, receive blocks. Right. If you get an EOF, then you're saying send and close. Here we go. But in the button, we're using a receive method to repeatedly read our client's request to request object. Till there is no more messages, the server needs to check the error return from read after each call. If it's nil, the stream is still good. Continue reading. If it's EOF, the stream has ended and the server can return its root summary. If it has any other value, return the error as is, so it can be translated to a gRPC. Right. But we can't We don't actually spit up errors at that point. So, because we're in a go funk, right? We're escaped out of that. Sweet. This is fun. Oh, like the IRC of game servers. Cute. Okay, cool. Yeah, this is more for big studios who want to run big games things rather than like communities. So just responding to Frosty, like talking about Garena better as like the IRC of game servers. That's a really good metaphor. I really like that. Okay, so error doesn't equal EOF. Stream.send and close. It's probably... Yeah, see, we don't have a send and close. Whoops. Probably says that's client side streaming. What we want is server side streaming. Streaming, client side, server side. There we go. Stream.send. Are we sending or receiving? No, we're receiving. We don't have a send and close. What are we receiving? We are receiving stream dot. Yeah, that's not a thing. What does close send do? Let's have a look. Boop. Close send closes the sending direction of the stream. It closes the stream when non-nil error is met. Meh. So this is a client stream. Client side streaming. Yeah, they say close and close. I wonder if it's changed since then, because like, yeah, we're just receiving and watch game server. Stream SDK. Watch game server. You know, proto. This is where it gets fun. Here it gets an empty. Should I send an empty back if something happens? No? Or maybe I just don't want to do that here. Here we go. SDK, stream, error, client, watch game server, context. Oh, because I send in an empty. I am not sure. I'm actually unsure. I am not sure exactly what I've done. Watch game server returns a stream. Oh, so it takes an empty and returns a stream. Right, so when I'm the SDK and I'm calling it, I get back a stream. So there's nothing else I need to spit back out. Yeah, I think it's just sending it in the wrong direction. I'm just silly. Because sometimes I struggle with trying to remember which side I'm on, whether I'm on the client or the server. Here I am with the SDK, which means I am client-side streaming, which makes more sense. Oh my god. Once you finish writing our class request to stream, all right. So yeah, this is the server. This is writing the server, not the client. That's why I'm looking at it. Client-side streaming. Here we go. Because I'm the client at this point. Oh my god, brain function. That doesn't make sense. Bidirectional streaming, client-side streaming, server-side streaming. Yeah, stream.res. There we go. Beautiful. Yeah. So we don't actually have to do anything. That's the one. This one here. This is the one that I'm doing. Okay, cool. Oh my god, brain function. Sweet. What time we got? Okay. This all seems pretty reasonable. So far, it seems to be good. All right, let's actually run another test of this. Let's rebuild this. Make build server. We'll feel pretty good about it, and then we can do some tests. Yeah, I really need to work out some testing strategies for this other than just futzing around with it. All right. All right, so let's run our local. Let's run our server. So in theory now, all right, that's working. We're getting an echo response. That's what the server's meant to do. Let's do a watch. Blam, receiving packet. Cool, we get one game server event. We get another game server event. And we get another game server event. And that seems like it's okay. Now, the interesting question I kind of have here is if I just top grep server. No, that doesn't. Yeah, that's a fair bit of CPU. Maybe if I do it with htop, it's actually easier. So currently my CPU is being pegged. If we see that there, that is less than ideal. I don't want that. That's nasty. That's my problem. All right. So we're just gonna check a sleep in here. I don't mind it polling every second. About like once a second seems reasonable. This is to wait for the reconnection. No, my CPU is actually literally going nuts right now. Oh no. Yep. Let's bring that down. That should be better. This is to wait for the reconnection and not put the CPU at 100%. So once every second, I think is reasonable to just come back to it and be like, okay, if error is nil, doesn't equal nil, then we're gonna chill for a sec. If error does come through, then we'll just continue background, right? So the reconnection should happen eventually, and we're not going to completely peg our server. Would you like a graphic designer make a UI? So we have some tickets around UIs for FrozD, but it's an open source project. So if you have a look in below the stream, you can actually see all the details of the project. We've had some interesting conversations about how and why and what we could potentially want to do for doing a UI for this. But if you have any thoughts or mock-ups or feelings, feel free to get involved with the project. We would love to absolutely have you. So yeah, definitely. That is, of course, if you're willing to participate in an open source project. I totally understand if you're not and you don't have the free time. That's totally cool. I understand as well. So let's build this now and try this example once more. Just wondering if we'll have time to actually put this into an actual server. Cool. All right, let's run our local server. Let's run our server. Let's do NC. We'll do a watch. One, two, three. All right, so that's actually closed now. So if we do a top grep server, why is that not showing up? Huh. Let's just htop. Let's make that big for server. It's not even showing up. Here we go. No, SDK server. Here we go. That's better. See, CPU much lower now. Once a second, it's going to hit that. That is much nicer. There we go. It's not even at the list. Awesome. Awesome. That makes me happy. All right, so that feels pretty good actually. All right, so given that that's doing that, how much time we got, and what does my calendar look like real quick? I kind of want to get this up on the internet. Well, not on the internet, but I want to. Yeah, I got some time. We can keep working. All right, so we've updated our SDK. That's cool. We've actually still got this installed on Kubernetes. So what I need, where am I? That's my simple, here we go. Make, no, I'm gonna go down a level. Make server image, I think it is. Nope. What's the thing? Make build server image. There we go. Yeah, this example needs cleaning up a little. All right, so now we have a UDP server 0.3. So what I want to do before we finish up today is basically push this up into an actual Kubernetes cluster and see if this works. So minikube, make minikube transfer. So I'm going to push this image into what is it? What's the name of the image? Here we go. UDP server 0.3. I'm going to push this into my Minikube cluster, which is local. There's a nice little, if you haven't seen that little trick before, Docker save piping to a Docker load. That's a really handy trick. Not my trick, but great trick if you have it. Okay. The other thing I will need, simple UDP, is I need to change all of these. That actually can get deleted. I'm going to do that later. Anyway, so fleet 0.3, GameServer YAML 0.3. I can also do legacy, which actually should get removed, but I'll do that later. All right. So this is the GameServer YAML, right? This is how I tell Agones, hey, this is how I want you to run this server. So let's do that. kubectl apply -f. Actually, let's make sure this works. No resources found. Cool. If I get nodes, whoops, that's not what I want. Cool. All right. So I have my local. Oh my god. kubectl apply server GameServer.yaml. Oh, it's -f. Let's get that right. Cool. So let's make that big. kubectl describe GameServer. GS is just shorthand for GameServer. GameServer simple UDP. Boom. Cool. That's ready. Awesome. We're getting somewhere. This is gonna be interesting. How do I want to do this? kubectl logs. Simple UDP /c, simple UDP, right? So I can see that marking server is ready. That's all good. Let's create a new one of these. Actually, bear with me one sec. Let's create a new one of these. So I'm back in build, and then I can actually create a new shell. And then so what I can do is I can say logs simple UDP. kubectl logs. kubectl get pods, right? Unable to read client cert. Ooh. Oh, I'm silly. Sorry. Make Minikube shell. They work a little differently. There we go. That's better. kubectl logs -f simple UDP -c simple UDP. So I want to see the logs coming out. I'm just going to follow them. Okay, so that's going on. So what I want to do is kubectl describe GameServer simple UDP. So that's going to give me my IP and ports. All right, so I can now nc-u 192.168.39.115, and the port I want is 7920. Cool. So I should be able to say test, and it goes back. If I go look at my log files, we can see that the received packets goes backwards and forwards. So we're winner doing our chicken dinner there. If I want to say game server, for argument's sake, if I go back to my logs, whoops, where are we? It's going to give me back the game server. Its name is simple UDP. That's all pretty sweet too. All right, cool. Now, let's say I do watch. What do I get here? Okay, so it says watch. That's cool. But what we need is a change. So let's see if we can force a change to happen, and if we can see it or not. So we can actually do a kubectl edit on our game server simple UDP, and this gives us all the stuff here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add an annotation. Let's do that. We're just going to call it foo, and we're going to say it's bar. That looks fine. So let's do that. kubectl edited. Let's describe this game server and just make sure that it has that change that we expected. Annotations foo equals bar. Sweet. So what we should do when we go over to our logs is see that this thing gets called. Let's see if that happened. Oop. Nothing happened. Okay, something is broken. Something did not work. Okay, why did it not work? That's really interesting. Okay, so we definitely got to watch. But nothing fired. Nothing fired at all. All right, so let's delete that. kubectl delete. Let's get rid of this game server. And then let's come back to our code and see what we've got. Okay, where are we? So let's have a look at our SDK, not SDK server. Yeah. So what I want to do, so we do this watch GameServer event here, so that when update happens, we add event handler. This totally needs tests. This probably would be fine if I had tests. But, you know, that would be way less interesting to watch. So let's, I'll worry about the test subscreen. Okay, run, does all this stuff, Informer Factory start, that's good. And we get all this stuff happening, so wait for cache sync, etc, etc. Okay, so the first question I want to ask is, oh, actually, I deleted it. Oh, that was silly. I should have actually gone to look at the sidecar to see the logs in the sidecar. That was silly. I could have seen if there was a bug. All right, well, you know what? Let's redeploy. Let's do that again. Yeah, because that's gone. Yep. All right. Let's do that again. Let's do that again. All right, so that's created. All right, so 7152. Sweet. If I go to 2 logs, kubectl logs, actually, yeah, logs dash f simple. It's a new one. Dash c simple UDP. Can I do both? Will it let me? Ooh, no. All right, let's actually have a look. Let's see if there's anything. So this looks like this is okay, right? So the game server spins up. And we're getting a whole bunch of health pings. All right. We can just do it. We can just do it without the F. So that seems okay. Ooh, something interesting happened. Updating state. Oh, okay. Yeah. That's fine. That's fine. That's the usual SDK server. That's nothing special there. Let's see what's going on here. No, 0. Sorry. All right. So if we say watch, ack watch. Let's have a look here. All right. SDK server, health ping received. We should probably log when a watch command comes through. So here we go, because we actually say st.log.info ready request added to queue. Health check comes in, we log that. Get game server, we actually don't log. We should do that. Received. Get game server request. That's useful. Why is that S and that's L? Ooh, that's bad. So let's refactor that to S. Thank you. Make sure they're all the same. Adding stream to connected streams. Okay, so that's something we should do. This is probably a race condition, but one problem at a time. And all right, so that looks like it's okay. If I could look at logs, RPC internal stream is done. A write header is already called. Error sending game server update event. Ooh, what is that? What is that? I see problems. What does that even mean? Trying to transport the stream is already done or write header is... So I've asked it to watch, but not do anything else other than... Hold on, where are we? 2. So I'm telling it to watch. It's trying... The stream is done or write header was already called. Error sending game server update event. interesting. I wonder what the event is. So if all right, so let's say I do exactly what I did previously, right? So let's go over here and I do kubectl edit GameServer, simple UDP. And we add an annotation. Oops, sorry, annotation. We'll add foo bar. If I then come over to here and have a look at the sidecar, I think we'll find, okay, so this is interesting. So this is happening here. Error, GameServer update event. Let's find that. I'm pretty sure I know where that is, which is right here. Weird. So, watch GameServer comes through. We get the SDK watch GameServer. We append it to our list of streams. Then later, we do that. So what does that? What does that even mean? Transport. The stream is done. Or write header was already called. By doing something silly server side in the SDK itself. Watch GameServer. It comes in. Blah blah blah. And then we're just doing receives. Like we're not doing anything. That's server side. Client. No, this is client side. Sorry, my fault. This is client side. On the server side, that's an interesting one. All right, so let's have a look and see. Why that's happening? I don't know why that's happening. Illegal header right. Transport the stream is done. A right header is already called. Indicates the setting header is illegal because of the stream state. Okay. I don't know. I don't know. Fuzzy D, I definitely see you on stream. Thank you for writing all that stuff. The short answer is, yeah, just, yeah, get involved. I'd love to have you get involved, but probably the best way to do that is on GitHub. I am very unsure of what's breaking. Because this is not breaking locally, but it is breaking when I run this as an actual thing. And I try and send. All right, so what am I doing? I'm appending. Should it be pointers to streams? Well, the stream itself is an interface. Yeah, so it doesn't. Yeah, so that's not that. So I'm just storing the streams as they come in. I am unsure. I'm very unsure, actually. Server stream doesn't really... I can do stuff like set header. I don't care about any of that stuff. Set trailer, stream itself, returns the backing context. So this is the server. When I call the stream, what do I use for context? I got an s.context. The context is just a background context. It is nothing special. It's never canceled, has no values, no deadlines. Okay. I am stuck. That is very strange. All right, I'm gonna rebuild this so I have some more logging. Make build images. Let's do that. I might run for about 5 or 10 more minutes, and then we might give it a call it a day. We'll see if I can work this out offline. Stream is done. Why would the stream be done? The stream should never be done. I don't want the stream to ever end. I'm not on the server side. I don't close it. I don't do anything to close it. SDK, shut down, watch game server. All right, on the client side, I call stream, right? I say, here's my client, watch game server. I pass in a context with an empty. I get back a stream. Well, here's an interesting question, actually. Format.printf stream AOF received. Game server event stream AOF. Let's see if that shows me something on the game server side. Maybe something is shutting it down somewhere. I'm actually really don't know. I actually don't know. Actually very confused. Let's see what's going on here. Okay. This may be one of those things that I need to go have a shower and think about. Or I do my best thinking. Alright. Because this works fine for everything else. And I'm not sure what's going on. Very strange. I'm gonna delete. Just gonna reload the controller as well. Just make sure everything's nice and clean. Yep, that's still fine. kubectl get GS. That's alright. kubectl get pods. Everything's happy. Alright, so kubectl apply -f examples, sorry, server, GameServer.yaml, bam, so describe JS, simple UDP, 57129, alright. Okay, let's have a look, so kubectl logs, simple UDP -c, so like just simple UDP. Yep, and Agones sidecar, we should just get a lot of stuff and mostly health checks, which is also fine. Alright, let's fire watch. And alright, so the sidecar itself, receive watch server request, adding stream to connected streams. Alright, so that's good. We see that that happens. And we're not seeing any errors. Okay. Interesting. Simple UDP, we get back a watch. But we do get that again. Stream is done, or the right header was already called. We have a look on here. Watch is not, like, we're not seeing any EOF or anything like that on that side. There's my dog. Oops. What I want to do is follow this. This may be one that we're stuck with for a little while. Okay, let's do an edit. We'll change the annotation. Foo equals bar. Go back to our logs, and so that's Ride header is already called. Okay, I am at a loss. I'm actually at a loss, yeah. Hey, puppy. I am not sure. Actually, not sure. All right, so that comes through. Watch GameServer. This really needs a log as well. I have a dog behind me who is asking for attention. Sending. Do I care? Yes. No, actually, no. Sending GameServer events to connected streams. But I think I'm gonna have to call it a day here. I'm actually kind of disappointed. We got the local stuff working, but somewhere in here where I'm looping around streams, something weird is going on, and I don't know what it is. Yeah, I am very much at a loss. So I'm gonna have to do a whole bunch of research, I think is really what it boils down to, and see what is causing this error and dig deep into what is causing this error. I'm actually really at a loss. Yeah, I'm like super at a loss. I wish I had a better knowledge of, yeah, I'm really not sure what's going on. But I'll tell you what, I am going to commit this code and commit, work in progress, local change callback is working, but live on Minikube is not. I'll push that up as well. Awesome. I'm gonna shut things down here. I normally only go for an hour, but I was hoping I was gonna be able to get this working on both sides, but unfortunately it doesn't look like I am, which is annoying, actually. Really annoying, but that happens. Thank you for joining me on a Tuesday morning or whatever day or time zone that you happen to be in. I appreciate you all hanging out with me. Hopefully you found that at least vaguely entertaining, or at least somewhat informative. Yeah, I wish I'd got that better. May try and do another. I keep saying this every Tuesday. I'm like, I might try and do another one this week, but this time maybe I actually will. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, follow me on Twitch. Follow me here on Twitter at Neurotic. Tuesdays 9 a.m. Pacific time is when I do my usual streams. So yeah, I really appreciate you hanging out with me. It was really good having a chat, answering some questions, chatting with all the people. But yeah, thank you so much. I'll check this up on YouTube as well if you ever want to go back through it. And you can see the link to YouTube below the stream with all the details of this project and everything else. Okay, cool. I'm going to run away. It's been an absolute pleasure, and I'll see you all at the very least next week. Thank you so much.